Hi everyone, today we are going to make this cute closed shell stitch bikini bottom. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello everyone and welcome back to Sade Crochets. Today for this bikini bottom we're going to be needing an F hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter hook. And then you can use any medium weight for yarn. I am using Yarn Bee Secret Soft in the color violet. And then you'll also need a pair of scissors. And if you really want to measure your crotch length, you can use a measuring tape to see from front to back how high you want this to sit on you. I believe this is kind of like going to be a regularized bikini. So if you want like a lower rise or a higher rise, then you can kind of measure and make sure as you go along that you hit that measurement. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, of course, make our slip knot. And the good thing about this pattern is that the beginning is the same for small, medium, large, and 1X. So, and then the pattern actually repeats. So you can make all the sizes with the same repeat. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is chain out 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're actually starting in the center of the bikini. So this is like kind of in the crotch area. So the next thing we're going to do is skip this first chain and then single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So really it was a chain 7 plus 1 turning chain. And then from here we're going to skip 2 and put a shell in this next stitch. So skip 2, and by shell I just mean to put 5 double crochets in the same chain space. So yarn over and double crochet, and we'll be putting 5 in that same spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's our first shell stitch. And now we're going to skip 2 more chains and then single crochet into this last chain space. Okay, so that's all it looks like so far. And then from here what we're going to do is chain 2, 1, 2, and turn. And now we're going to put a half shell into this first stitch, this last single crochet that we did. So by half shell, when I say that, I just mean to put 3 double crochets in the same spot. So we're going to yarn over and put 3 double crochets into this first single crochet. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, from there we're going to skip 2 stitches, so 1 and 2, and then single crochet into that third stitch. Okay, and then we're going to actually skip 2 more, 1 and 2, and then put a half shell into this last single crochet below. So yarn over and put 3 double crochets into that last stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So that's what it looks like so far. It's just 1 shell at the bottom and then 2 half shells around it in row 2. Okay, so next we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in this first stitch, and then skip 2 and put a shell in the middle. So skip 2 and put 5 double crochets into this middle chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we're going to skip 2 and then put a single crochet into the last stitch. So that's what it looks like. And next we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn our work. And then we're going to do another set of a half shell here, so 3 double crochets into the first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So that's 3 double crochets in the first stitch, and then we're going to skip 2 stitches and put a single crochet in the next stitch, and then skip 2 more and then put another half shell or 3 double crochets in that last stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then from here we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then a shell in this middle stitch. So we're going to skip 2 and put 5 double crochets in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to skip 2 more and put a single crochet into the last stitch. Single crochet. And now we're going to do our first increase. So those rows are kind of all similar. Now we're going to do our increase. So this is row 6. So now we're going to chain 2. And in order to increase, chain 2 and turn, we're actually, instead of doing the half shell, we're going to put a full shell here. So we're going to put 5 double crochets into this first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's our first stitch with 5 double crochets in it, and then we're going to skip 2 chains and single crochet on top of this middle stitch of the previous shell. So skip 2 and single crochet, and then skip 2 and put 5 double crochets in the last stitch. So it just got a little bit wider. Instead of us putting the little 3 half shells, we're putting a full one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so from here we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn. And in this very first stitch here, we're going to put a half shell. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in that first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So it's 3 double crochets. And this time we're going to skip 1 only and put a single crochet into this next stitch. So skip one only this time, and then single crochet. And then from here we're going to skip two and put a full shell, the 5 double crochets in the middle. So skip two and put 5 double crochets into that single crochet below. 4 and 5. Okay, from there we're going to skip 2 and put a single crochet here, and then we're just going to skip 1 and then do 3 double crochets in the last stitch, just kind of how we started this row. Oh, I am snagged. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So this is what it looks like so far. It's really pretty stitching. So next what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. And in this first stitch we're going to do a single crochet and then skip 2 and then put a shell in this next so skip 2 and put a shell in that next stitch. So 5 double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to skip 2 and put a single crochet on top of the shell below in the middle. And then skip 2 and 5 double crochets or a shell in this next single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. 5. Ah, that's not good. Okay, and then now we're going to skip 2 and then single crochet in that last stitch. So I think I just snagged it so it looks funny, but yeah, that's only 3 stitches left. And then you skip 2 and single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so from here now what we're going to do is chain 2, 1, 2, and turn. And now we're going to put a half shell in this very first stitch, so 3 single crochets here. 1, 2, and 3. 3 double crochets, I'm sorry. 3 double crochets here. And then from there we're going to skip 2 and then single crochet in this on top of this previous shell. And then skip 2 and put a shell in the middle. So we're going to put 5 double crochets in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then skip 2 and single crochet on top of that stitch. And then skip 2 and a half shell in the last stitch, so 3 double crochets in the last stitch. Okay, and that's what it looks like now. So that was row 9. Now we're on row 10, and what we're going to do next is chain 1, turn. And first we're going to do a single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a skip 2 and do a shell and that on top of that single crochet there. So we're going to put 5 double crochets here, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2, single crochet on top of that shell, skip 2, and then another shell here, so 5 double crochets on top of that single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then skip 2 and single crochet into the last stitch, and that was row 10. So all the sizes are still the same from here. What we're going to do next is go ahead and chain 2 and then turn. And now this is another increasing row. So we're going to put a full shell here instead of the half shell. So we're going to put 5 double crochets here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, from there we'll skip 2 and then single crochet in that middle stitch of the shell below, single crochet, and then skip 2 and then a shell in the middle, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and now we're going to skip 2 and single crochet in that next stitch, skip 2 and then a full shell in that last stitch there. So 5 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so that's what it looks like so far. And from here, let's see, I'm on row 12. So from here we're going to chain 2 and turn, and then we're going to do a half shell. So that was kind of the repeat, but I'm going to show you the repeats again. So from here, after your half shell, we're going to only skip 1. So skip 1 and then single crochet into the next stitch. And then from there, we're going to skip 2 and do our regular shell. So you can see like where the shells are. We're just going to do our 5 double crochets, skip 2 single crochet, skip 2 5 double crochets, skip 2 single crochet, and then skip 1 and do a half shell there. Okay, so now we are coming up on our repeat. So these 3 rows you're going to repeat until this thing is long enough for you. So the first row, this is row 13. The first thing we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to single crochet, skip 2, do a shell, skip 2 and do 5 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then skip 2 and single crochet. So we're just gonna pretty much repeat single crochet shell until we get to the end of this row. Okay, so at the end of row 13 you should have a shell and then 2 stitches, and skip 2 stitches, and then in the last stitch do a single crochet there. So shell and then 3 stitches left, skip 2 of them, and then single crochet there. So now that's row 13. Row 14 is to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do our increasing row. So we're going to put a full shell here. So we're going to start off by putting 5 double crochets in that first stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then from there we'll continue with the pattern. So we'll skip 2 single crochet, skip 2 shell, skip 2 single crochet, skip 2 shell, skip 2 single crochet, skip 2, and then we're doing a full shell at the end of this row. So go ahead and finish this row and I'll meet you there. Okay, so that was row 14, and this is the last row. Row 15 is the last row of our repeat. So from here we're going to chain 2 and turn, and then we're going to do a half shell here. So just 3 double crochets in that first stitch. And then from there we're going to only skip 1 this time and single crochet there. So from here the pattern repeats. So skip 2, and then you do your full shell, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2, full shell, skip 2, single crochet. And then just remember, and for this row, your single crochet, after your last single crochet, you're only going to skip 1 and then continue and do your half shell. So these 3 rows will repeat from row 13 to 15. You can repeat this until this is long enough for you. I did have some suggestions. Let's see, so for a size small, I recommended like 21 rows until row 21 was finished. A medium would be like until row 24 is finished. A large would be until row 26. And a 1X would be until row 28 is finished. So just remember, like it's gonna get longer this way, and it's just gonna keep opening up a little bit that way. And as long as you're happy with the length, so this is like the dead center of the crotch area here, I would recommend maybe for a small that this would be 7 inches long, for a medium is 8 inches, for a large is 8.5 inches, and a 1X is 9.5 inches. So that's just kind of how I am. If you want it longer or shorter, this is only half the measurement for the front side. So, take your measurement, cut it in half, and just make this as long as you want it to be. And so finish this front side, and then I'll meet you there and show you what's next. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. I have 21 rows completed for a size small. So from here, once you are happy with the length, and I'll just show you, this did turn out to be 7 inches, so you can just double check that and make sure. Anyway, from here, once you're happy with your length, go ahead and fasten off. You can cut and tie off now, and we're going to start on the back. So what I'm going to do is reattach my yarn to this same spot as my slip stitch. You could do it on the other side if you like, but I just wanted to weave in this tail some as I go. So the back side is pretty much a repeat of the front. It's not any different, actually. So what you might want to do is go ahead and rewind to the front. But basically we can do the first row together. I'm going to chain one first. Okay, pull up a loop and chain one first. But in this very first stitch in row 1, we did a single crochet, and then we skipped 2 and put a shell in the middle. So it's pretty much a complete repeat of the other side. So what you want to do, you can definitely rewind the video and rewatch until this is the same length as the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then in the last stitch we skipped 2 and then did a single crochet there, and my little thing's open. Here we go. Try to close it. Okay, there we go. So we're doing the same thing, we're just going that way. I believe row 2 was chain 2 and turn, and then we started with these half shells here. 1, 2, and 3, and then we skipped 2 and then did a single crochet, and then skipped 2 and did another half shell or 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, so go ahead and feel free to rewind the video. It's the exact same as the front side, and once you finish, you can make this either the same length as the front, or you could do like one more row. Like if you have a little change back there behind you and you need a little bit more help, you can add like 1 or 2 more rows to kind of help you out with that. But other than that, go ahead and finish this, and then we'll do the ties and the border and we'll be finished. All right, so here's what my bikini looks like so far. I just wanted to say, if you did like reattach your yarn to that slip knot here, I would just go ahead and make a knot with that string just so that it's secure. We're gonna crochet over that anyway, but I'm just gonna go back and do a quick knot and make sure that they are secure so that slip knot doesn't come out. And we're gonna actually crochet over that anyway. Okay, so now the last step for us is to do our ties for the bikini. Oh, I didn't cut off here. So what I'm gonna do first is chain 1 and fasten off. Chain 1 and cut and tie off. All right, so now we're going to start on our ties. So I'm just going to put this aside for a second and create a slip knot. And from here, we're just going to chain out a whole bunch of chains. So for size small and medium, you could probably do 75, and then large and extra large, you can probably do 85 or 90. Just whatever makes you feel comfortable here, but I'm gonna go ahead and chain out 75 chains. Okay, so once you have your 75 or 85 or 90 chains, we're just going to pick one of the sides. Let's see, what's a good side? I'm going to pick this side first because this is the side that has my tails on it. So I'm going to crochet over these 3 tails. Okay, so what I'm going to do is reattach to this corner stitch here with the tail with a slip stitch. So I'm just going to slip stitch that down just like that. And then from there, I'm just going to do my best to put one single crochet. Well, I'm just going to space them out because with the shell stitches, like the double crochet height blends together. So as you're single crocheting down here, just try not to, you're going to have to eyeball it and just try not to jumble them too close together or make them too far apart. So you just use your own judgment here. But basically, we're just going to single crochet from here, crochet over all of these tails as you go, and then we're going to stop when we get to this second corner. All right, so I reached the other corner, and once you get to your next corner, you're just going to go ahead and chain out what you chained the first time. So I'm going to chain out 75 chains here, and then I will show you what's next. Okay, so once you cut and tie off on the first tail, we're just going to repeat for the second tail. So I'm gonna make my chain of 75 again. You can make your chain as long as you made the others. And then we're gonna reattach here and crochet over this last tail here, and then do the same thing and come on out and crochet the last tie. But one thing I do want to point out is that you want to make sure that when you're doing this border, that is facing the same side, so that like you can tell that this is the back in comparison to my border actually facing me. So when you do this side, just make sure the borders will be facing you on both sides and not one backwards, one in the front. Okay, so once you finish both of your ties and border, all you need to do is go back and clip these little ends here. It's really nice because there's really nothing to weave in, and I love that. I thought I had one more somewhere. Oh, there it is. So yeah, we are finished. So it's a nice, easy pattern once you get it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment if you like this video. And you can also look out for, if I do post this pattern on Etsy, I will give everyone on YouTube a small discount here. So I'm still like tweaking my pattern, but just as far as the video, you can go ahead and make this and let me know how it turned out for you. Thanks everybody. Bye.